I know, yes. Chukudi Okolio Gbaja is here with us this morning. Good to see you, Chukudi.
Same here. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank God it's Friday.
You look every inch fit and good to go. Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Atletico Madrid. Chelsea.
Thank you.
How are you? Well done.
I wasn't even expecting you guys to greet at all. Anyways, let's get into the papers. We'll begin with the blueprint. And, of course, on all the papers this morning, the man of the moment leads. And that's talking about the INEC chair, Amok Beton. The headline on the blueprint is, "My coming divine. I won't negotiate election integrity. The riders, I have a role to play in the birth of a new Nigeria. Act beyond reproach. Anambra poll, your litmus test." That's according to Tinubu. Away from that, we have reps seek full independence, more powers for EFCC. That's all of that can be found on page 10. And above the masthead of the blueprint this morning, we have next to overhaul security training institutions nationwide. Terrorism, that's the kicker of this one. Judge orders Kanu to comport himself. Accused sacks legal team. Interesting. All right, you want to see what all of that is about. A copy of the blueprint will do you good. And below the picture story, we have troops neutralize over 50, repel terrorist attacks in Borno, Yobe. And in a green strip at the bottom of the front page of the blueprint, we have you must produce Nobel laureates. Tinubu tells Uni Ilori orders. All right, that's about it on the front page of the blueprint. Let's quickly look at the leadership. The Leadership Friday this morning has Amok Beton, of course, as the lead story, but a different caption. It says, reactions as Tinubu urges Amok Beton to safeguard electoral integrity. Match words with actions, group tells president. All of that on page 4. Above that, my father's life was Africa's mirror. That's about Raila Odinga. And you want to see what his daughter has to say about him after his passing. And just beside the masthead, we have 92-year-old sprinters' muscles. Baffle scientists resemble those in their 20s. All right, you want to find out how that is possible? Leadership Friday will guide you. Kwankwaso, our party ready for alliance with Tinubu Obi others. And also right here, we have tragedy in Ondo as truck crushes 8 to death. Details on page 13. And finally, federal government approves uniform prices for its housing estate units. And details can be found on page 18. All right, Demola.
Okay, I have the Daily Trust newspaper, and just below the nameplate, Tinubu swears in Amok Beton, charges him on credible polls. NUC approves 13 new courses for varsities. Details on page 33. After bandit attacks, Katsina communities struggle to rebuild. That's page 28. Boko Haram attacks communities in Borno, Yobe. We killed over 50, injured 70 terrorist military. Details of that story can be found on page 3 and 4. And fire raises over 500 stores in Kano Market. Details on page 8. UK Supreme Court dismisses P&ID appeal, affirms Nigeria's 43 million pounds award. Kano sacks legal team again, open self-defense. Details page 6. Nigeria's borrowing pace can undermine fiscal stability, LCCI. Details on page 25. Chooks.
My coming divine, that's
Amok Beton.
I hope he didn't get that from his pastor. I was listening to Steve Bannon.
Or from a politician.
We'll get there. I was listening to Steve Bannon, the convicted supporter of Donald Trump. He was telling them yesterday that 2016 was almost improbable, but that the election that got him in, a second term president, was even tougher. So he's telling them that if they could scale those two hurdles, which happened over a gap of 4 or 8 years, that It showed that there was divine touch to it all. So Amukbito, it should please concentrate on how he's going to get this thing done for us. Leave divinity out of it. You see, one person...
But you still need a little bit of...
One person I know...
You need God to help you out.
Pastor...
you need help.
Let me land. God knows that without him, I am nothing.
Good.
But Africa should know when to pray and when to work. That is part of the problem the continent has. When I was a second-year university student at Tuniben, there was a Texas preacher I was listening to all the time. He said, do that which is possible and leave the impossible to God. You can't beat it. So I know what I'm talking about. I like the man's faith in divinity. Without God, we are nothing. But let us also do things that will make God help us more.
You just put it better now.
Yes. This divine thing, I'm not one of the people subscribing to all that. Let us work. God has always been with us. We are the ones who are running away from God. Anyway, we wish him luck. But there's a little mischief I saw here. Reactions as Tinubu urges Amukbito to safeguard electoral integrity. Match words with actions. Group tells president. The president is not the INEC chairman. What are they talking about? Well, the president would do well to make sure that logistics, are ready in time. The president would do well to ensure that an enabling environment is there. But it's not just, it's Black Africa that heaps everything on the president. The lawmakers are even in a better position to get the laws in place, put the laws in place, and now expect the president to strictly implement what has been. For instance, we have not yet passed the electoral law. You could say that there is time, but I would have thought the earlier we do it, the better.
What about the other players, like the politicians?
The politicians. He's a man of
because
many words.
That's what
that was Tony Wilson way back in time when I was still wearing labu on 6 inches. You didn't know those shoes,
The politicians.
The politician is catch me if you can.
They're the
you
real,
just want to take this analysis to another angle.
They're the real issue here.
He's the most unpredictable person you can talk about in an election situation, particularly on these shows. There are places where politicians don't try some of the things our politicians do. The other time I said, you could say, who are you? You're just a journalist. But I felt bad when a politician thought that my cameras were not enough inhibition to his stuffing ballot boxes. I mean, it doesn't make sense. We catch in the full glare of publicity doing things we should not do. That's impunity pushed to a ridiculous level.
Yeah.
So when you look at the things that happen to us, you're going to find out that we are the ones disagreeing with divinity on the best way forward for humanity. That's the way I look at it.
Disagree with
divinity.
Divinity in the best way for
humanity.
He's concentrating
I like
on the rhyme and giving the message. You see,
no.
You shouldn't come to my class. You will not pick up anything.
All right, let's look at some other stories. This one is interesting.
Yeah.
This one that says troops neutralize over 50, repel terrorist attacks in Borno and Yobe. And it says no negotiation with bandits. Defend yourselves, Bago tells residents.
Who's Bago, please?
That's the governor of Niger State.
What do they have beyond the pump action? And how many people can actually have it? Military-grade rifle is hardly used by civilians. We are bloody when it comes to that, We cannot. When you talk about meeting force with force, you want to assure that there's no asymmetrical relationship in what you are. I want a situation where some Nigerians that can be trusted are given weapons that go beyond the buckshot, the double barrel pellets and all that. That is the only way this can become more meaningful. Defend myself with what? Our lawmakers need to look at so many things as we move into modern centuries. We have to engage action that suits the growing criminality among those people who think that we should not sleep well at night, or even in broad daylight, they're now pouncing on us. You have to match, the people's desire to protect themselves with what they need as weaponry to get it done. So those are good words, fine words. But how do they do it? With machetes or what? That's the issue.
AUC approves 13 new courses for varsities. I think that is good news.
Good news,
yes,
only if they are skills-based courses.
They are.
Very good.
They are. Let me read out some of this. This one we have artificial intelligence. Then we have human kinetics with a focus on sports management, geomatics, engineering, community health, science, intelligence and security studies, Islamic economics and finance, parasitology and entomology, telecommunication science, water sanitation and hygiene. Then
they don't quite sound different from run-of-the-mill. I mean, what I'm used to.
No, they are big, some of them are new.
What I was thinking about was you encourage people to get into courses that will help them not think about one employer before they can become, useful to themselves, because that's where the economy has taken us now. The jobs are simply not there anymore. If you don't have skills, I tell journalists, for instance, if all you know is factuality, fairness, accuracy, objectivity, and balance, when you step out of that newsroom, you're going to suffer. Pensions don't help people so much these days. I put out something on a broadcaster's WhatsApp group that has the best in this country, elderly broadcasters. And I was peeved over the fact that they were not responding on how we can help improve the quality of young broadcasters. One of them called me and said, do you know that some of these people don't eat 3 square meals anymore because their pensions are not enough to see them through? I started crying because these are people I learned from. These are people I treated as holy at a stage. You're telling me that their pensions can't even give them 2 square meals. You understand? So we need skills-based things to be learned these days, not just come, you blow to rental like Chukwudi Maja, when you cannot fuel your car.
My take would be that we already have courses that should be enriched, or if you like, should be developed to cover some of these areas. You talked about artificial intelligence. We already have computer science in schools, right? Why not make those who are reading computer science, experienced in what you're talking about, artificial intelligence, instead of creating another subject?
Take it to a more practical plane.
You're talking about water and sanitation there. We already have public health. We have other courses that exist at the moment that could be further enriched such that when such students graduate, they can handle anything.
There's something else. You as an individual could also make the difference. I'm talking from experience. I read linguistics. I didn't read English. I read English just the first year, But I find out that linguistics helps me teach English, because when I teach English to people, Africans, I go from what your first language is doing to inhibit your performance in English. When you, for instance, say something like a distributor, you're putting tones in every syllable in distributor. You're not pronouncing it as distributor, which the Englishman calls it. His own is stress-timed. Yours is tone-timed. So if you teach him what obstacles he's going to see meet in English because of his first language, you are applying practicals from what you learned in school. Many of us go to school, but they do not extend the didactic thing that came from their lecturer into the practicals of life. So you need to do some work yourself. You turn it around. It depends on how you work.
Thank you, lecturer.
Thanks, Chukwudi.
Okoli Ugbaja.
I knew I was about talking.
Thank you. You know. Okay, thank you. Anyway, enjoy your weekend.
I hope you enjoy yours as well.
All right.
My dear sister, have yourself some fun, okay?
You
deserve
too.
it.
Thank you.
Amigo.
I don't know about Chelsea.